The SEC in the US has approved rules that will pave the way for the adoption of Bitcoin exchange-traded funds, a landmark event that could see increasing appetite by mainstream finance. The decision will lead to the conversion of the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, that's a crypto asset manager which holds about $29 billion of the cryptocurrency, into an ETF, as well as the launch of competing funds from mainstream issuers such as BlackRock's iShares and Fidelity. After the green light by the SEC, Ethereum soared and Bitcoin edged slightly lower, but the anticipation of the ETF has significantly boosted the price of Bitcoin in recent months. Ether also lagged Bitcoin in 2023, rising just 90% compared to Bitcoin's 157%. For more on this, we are joined by Russ Mould in London. He is the investment director of AJ Bell. Thank you for being with us. Russ, will all of this unleash new demand for the asset class from types of investors who were previously scared off by concerns about custody, by concerns about the safety of the asset itself?
I think that's partly the idea, or certainly what cryptocurrency supporters are hoping. Regulatory support may reassure some investors who've been looking at scandals and frauds involving cryptocurrency. It's certainly easier to use the exchange traded fund. You can use your normal brokerage account rather than have to own a Bitcoin wallet or a crypto wallet and a special crypto platform account. And it's also easier and cheaper that not everybody can afford $46,000 per single Bitcoin. These funds will come with a much lower price tag than that. So yes, the theory is it may be easy for people to get involved. They look to put their money in the fund has to buy more Bitcoins. Bitcoin price goes up, more people want to buy, and you get a virtuous circle. That's the theory. Obviously, the opposite can happen as well. And the Security and Exchange Commission, the American regulator, is saying it is not endorsing cryptocurrencies. It's merely allowing these products to be launched.
Right, this was really a watershed moment for the crypto industry as a whole, which we reminded, it first sought to launch a Bitcoin ETF more than 10 years ago. At this point, where do you see the price of Bitcoin going? Because we've seen an incredible movement for the price of Bitcoin already last year.
If I knew that, Ludovica, I'd be sitting on a beach somewhere, I think. What I would say is you've correctly said Bitcoin has moved from $25,000 to $46,000 in the last 6 months in anticipation of this news. So there's an element of the asset having traveled and now it's arrived. So you may well see a little bit of a pause for breath. After that, I think a lot of what happens with Bitcoin will still depend upon regulation, but also upon central bank policy. If they return to quantitative easing or money printing, more investors may look to what they would view as a haven, where supply is finite, as is in the case of Bitcoins. That could do it some good. Equally, if central banks get inflation under control, show that they're in charge of the situation, people may feel less inclined to look for a haven asset. We shall see.
And we'll monitor how the prices move today, the first day for these ETFs. Russ Mould, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now let's get to other top stories from around the world. The IMF has agreed to disburse a $4.7 billion to Argentina despite the country's failure to meet the terms of its $43 billion loan in recent months. The deal offers a crucial lifeline to new Libertarian President Javier Milei as he pursues ambitious reforms. Argentina's hard currency reserves have been virtually wiped out amid its most severe economic crisis in 2 decades. The government is now relying on the IMF's loan to be able to make debt repayments. The UK government has unveiled plans for its biggest expansion of nuclear power in 70 years. The government intends to build up to 8 new nuclear reactors by 2050. The UK currently has 9 reactors in operation, but many of them are nearing the end of their lives. Officials say the new plants will produce a quarter of the UK's electricity needs by 2050. And German software giant SAP has agreed to pay more than $220 million to settle bribery charges brought by the US Justice Department. The company allegedly paid bribes to government officials in South Africa and Indonesia to secure various business contracts. In 2016, SAP was also punished for violating US laws against bribery and corruption in Panama.